Paul Hocker is Director of London Play Charity. Afternoon to you, Paul.
Hi, Eddie.
Why are adventure playgrounds then different to other parks?
Well, adventure playgrounds produce some really interesting people, like your good self, by the sounds of it. There's about London. It should be proud of itself. We have the most adventure playgrounds of anywhere in the world. There's about 80, and they're different from the park playgrounds. So let me just distinguish that for your listeners. When you go to the park, there's no staff there. There's just apparatus for the kids to play on.
Yeah.
An adventure playground has qualified play workers there. They usually got a gate that you got to go through, and the kids can come and go as they please. And they are full of the most exciting structures a kid could dream of.
But they are. I mean, look, walking in front of the swing is dangerous enough, isn't it? And some of the other stuff that I don't like, this thing that goes round, because I usually see people coming off. But adventure playgrounds are a lot more challenging.
Yeah, they are. They do offer a very stimulating and exciting play space. They are remarkably low in terms of incidents because the staff that work there are really highly qualified, extremely rigorous around health and safety. But the experts on health and safety are the children themselves, because they have a very keen sense of self-preservation. And you'll notice, if you go to a playground, the bigger kids or the confident kids tend to be the ones doing the kind of crazy stuff on the swings, and the smaller ones are looking and learning.
Yes.
And they'll get into it when and if they're ready. So I think we need to give a little bit more faith in kids for knowing what they can and can't take on.
Yeah, Paul, look. I speak as somebody who was on it, but I have to speak here as a dad too. Yeah, so work with me on this. I don't want to fall out with you, but
I'm a dad too, Eddie.
Well, yeah, but I never became such a big hypocrite until I came. I was only a little bit of a hypocrite before I became a father. I used to jump on there. We used to fall off. We used to get hurt. It was the best time, the most exciting and dangerous time of my life. I was going to say something terrible there. It would be an embarrassment if I were ever to watch my child on that. It is so dangerous. It's something from a previous century, isn't it?
Well, what are you describing? What's the dangerous thing you're describing? The swing, is it?
Well, you jump on the swing with the rope on it. You're climbing up. You're moving along without. I didn't have anything called a harness. I did one with the kids the other day, and I was terrified. They ran off, but I was on a harness. When you go up those big old climbing things, health and safety is different now to the way it was, because we're a lot more likely to sue. We're a lot more likely to have challenges, aren't we?
That's true. Things have shifted in that direction, sadly. But let me ask you this: your kids, do you take them in the car, Eddie?
Yes.
Do you let them play football or contact sports?
No, they don't play football. My children, okay. Karate though. Karate, okay. Gymnastics.
So there are more injuries, by far, through playing contact sports and through motoring accidents than will ever happen on adventure playgrounds. I go back to my point before, Eddie. Kids don't want to smash themselves up. They know what they can and cannot do, and they will do that thing when they're ready. And don't forget, when we become adults, there's this sort of amnesia that happens where we forget about having fun and taking and managing risks. We become a little bit more, we want to take care of ourselves.
Yeah, but Paul, it's a different. My mum used to say, "Go out and don't come back till it gets dark." I have no idea. Even when he's 18, I have no intention of saying that to my children. It is a different world with a different. The fear of crime. I sit here and I do stories 5 days a week, Paul, and I will tell you now, right? That and it might be part of it. The problem too, that the fear of crime, the fear of injury, the fear of whatever it might be is greater for me now than it's ever been.
Yeah, but that's a perception, isn't it? It's not possibly. Actually. I think children. Let's be clear about one thing. The world definitely has changed and is constantly changing, but children and their need to play and their need to have adventure has not changed. You could take a child that's been sat in a bedroom looking at a screen all day, and by the way, the online world can be just, if not more dangerous, I'd say, than the outside world. You could have them on the screen all day, and if you offered them the chance to go out and build a go-kart with their mates in the field and race it, I would put my mortgage on it that they would go out and play in.
Not in the middle of a game of Fortnite, though. You'd have to do it before. But it's the truth. Once my children have got onto the computer or they've started, that's it. So I have to try not to get them on it. You see what I mean? Once they're in the middle of whatever it is that they play, it's more challenging to get them to build the go-kart, to go sledging or whatever it might be. Surely you have that with yours.
Yeah, it's all about balance, and a little bit of both of that, the outside world and the online world is fine, I think. It's just when, like, Fortnite's a really good example. It has taken over some children's lives and made them pretty miserable, in fact. So that's probably an example of things going in the wrong direction. But kids do just love to play, and they do love playing in person with another human being. That's a great thing. And I think, as a society, we should just maybe have a little think about this and think about how we're bringing up our kids and making sure they are equipped for adult life by being able to go out, socialise, take risks, mix it up with other kids, be creative, be imaginative.
I agree with everything you said, but you're not insuring them, are you? So should we hear what Zurich have had to say? And then you can give your comment on it. Child safety has to be... Sorry, I should have waited for an answer there. Child safety has to be the priority here. And you're getting this last bit here, because this is the bit, the only bit you really need to listen to. Minimum safety levels to reduce the chances of serious injury. What say you to that?
Well, okay, for a start, my charity, London Play, and our colleagues at Playland are meeting with Zurich on Wednesday.
Great.
So we should find a positive outcome.
Have you been to the parks? I'll let you finish in a minute. But because this is a London radio station and these are kind of here based in London, have you been to the parks to see whether there is a bit loose, whether there's something falling off? What makes something in these three different to the others?
Well, that's a very good question. I mean, two of them are in London. The other one's in Bristol. The two in London I know, one of them I know pretty well, actually. And the one in Stepney, Glamis, it has an impeccable safety record. They've never, ever made a claim to Zurich. And their structures are well maintained. Health and safety there is through the roof. They're crazy about health and safety. Why they've been selected as a possible playground not to be reinsured, I have no clue. A question I'll ask Zurich on Wednesday. And the key thing here, Eddie, is what Zurich do, other insurers might do too. And if a playground can't get insurance, they can't open. And these playgrounds are in the poorest parts of London. These are places where children that don't have gardens, that live in overcrowded accommodation, that are on free school meals, that do live in socially deprived neighbours, these are crucial places for them. And if they can't open, we've got a real problem.
I think you're right. Will you please let us know what happens once you get to that meeting? Because, I mean, it is the heart of the story, and I'd love to hear from you, Paul. Is that all right?
Of course, I'll get in touch after Wednesday.
Yeah, you got to go easy though, right? Because don't go in and kick the doors down and mess it up completely.
I'm going to take a rope swing.
No, don't. Go easy, put on a nice shirt, and just relax. Okay.
I haven't got a shirt, but I'll find something.
Thanks, lovely speaking to you. Look after yourself. We're talking about Venture Playgrounds there. That's Paul Hocker, Director of London Play Charity. You love talking to people who are as passionate about their particular gig as that. Adventure Playgrounds on our agenda. I'd love to know, whether your children go to